So I'm going to be prepping some 9mm today. If you're using a single stage press, the order of operations is not totally critical. A lot of people would prime and then put it in the flare and powder drop tool and then flare and drop powder at the same time, which is probably what I'm going to do also. So the first thing I got to do is prime these 9mm cases. Now these are all new cases that my lovely wife has had around for a long time. I've got enough powder and bullets and primers to load every one of them. And since it's raining outside today and I can't work on her clipboard, that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so I've got my powder drop and expander die in here now. And I've got it adjusted in accordance with the instructions that came with my lead carbide die set. So you got to expand these pistol bullets because otherwise you can't get the bullet to sit in the top of the case neck there so that you can seat the bullet. So you don't want to do any more than you have to. So I have adjusted it so when I put the bullet in there, it doesn't fall out, but it still has a pretty tight grip around the bullet so that when I seat the bullet, I can come back, probably do a light crimp on it. That with this particular die set, you do at the same time you do bullet seating. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flare the neck and drop the powder. And I am going to use 7.5 grains of accurate number 7. And I'm hoping for 1,000 to 1,100 feet per second muzzle velocity out of these 9mm, which is pretty hot for a 9. All right. So I got my auto tickler going here. I got my bullet expander and powder drop going here. The auto tickler, I'm running 7.7 grains of accurate number 7. According to the Hodgson reloading calculator, which is my favorite reloading calculator, and they make accurate and IMR and Hodgson powders, so you can pick any of those. 8.2 grains is the max for the 115 grain bullet that I have got to use. And so I never load to max because I've run a bunch of different ladder tests to find powder loads. Where's the most accurate powder load and where is the tightest groups, etc., lowest standard deviation and extreme spread, and it's never at maximum powder load. So you don't gain anything loading to maximum powder load. In fact, you lose accuracy, standard deviation, and extreme spread, i.e. consistency, if you just load to max every time. And that's really for any gun, gas gun, bolt action, pistol, whatever. I've never found the best node at max load. So I'm running half a grain off max because these are plinking rounds. And I want to be able to have at least 1,000 feet per second. Now at 7.7, I'm hoping for something closer to 1,100 feet per second for a velocity. But that's what's going on here. Okay, so now we're going to talk about bullet depth seating. So if you want to properly set bullet depth, you have to have a micrometer, right? Unless you're some extra special rain man, this is the way that you set your bullet depth or bullet seating. So just follow the instructions that came with your die set for seating your die. And then this is what you use to adjust the bullet depth. And for pistol and gas guns, I don't do what they call chasing the lands, which is where I try to get the bullet itself as close to the rifling as I can to maximize stability at the initial ignition. With these, I just set it to the case overall length in accordance with SAAMI spec and row from there. So for the 9mm, whoa, take that. For the 9mm, that would be 1.130 inches in accordance with the reload manual. So once I get this set to 1.130 inches, then I can just go through, and with this particular die, you get the bullet seating, and I don't know if you can tell from there, but there's also a crimp that the bullet seater puts on the bullet itself. So I seated the bullet to SAAMI spec 1.130 inches and put a crimp on the bullet at the same time.